Alrighty, so, you guys may be wondering why we're finally doing this. Before we get started, let me tell you guys that you should become patrons over on Patreon, or you should join our Discord server and hang out with us. So, this is sort of something we've been toying around basically since the beginning of the volume starts, and I haven't done the video on it. Like, ideas about Salem's origins. Because now we know some things. One is that Salem can only exist as long as Ozpin, kind of. Because Ozpin only got cursed when he failed to stop Salem, which means Salem was not something that started at the beginning, or at least Salem wasn't a threat at the very beginning. So I have some ideas. But anyway, so basically this idea was, first we have to establish this. People are still saying that Salem is a recent threat, but she can't be. Because the only reason why Ozpin has been reincarnating for the past 1,000 of years is because he's failed to stop her. So she has to be at least as old as Ozpin. Do you understand what I mean, Hunter? Like, she can't be any younger than that. She can be older than that, maybe, but she can't be any younger. And at the same time, it doesn't make sense for her to be older than Ozpin either, because Ozpin was only cursed when he failed to stop her. The only way that that makes sense is that Salem wasn't at first a threat and she was a normal person before.
Which is a theory I like, but let's continue.
Yes. Well, that is like the more Elphaba sort of idea. So here is my idea, okay? That Salem was, I'm gonna call this one the Elphaba theory number 1, okay? We did an entire Wicked theory about Crow, but, this is kind of shorter, it's not that in-depth or anything, and so this is more of a speculation about different theories, but this is the first one. This is the Elphaba theory. So, Salem was some sort of normal person back when they had normal people, I guess, and she came in contact with the wizard, probably pre-maiden, I would say, because I think the maidens were made to kind of help out with the relics and all of that stuff.
I would like to point out here that we do not know for certain that Ozpin was the wizard.
Ugh, I hate you. We do. Like,
We
Hunter,
don't.
it's basically confirmed now. Why do you do that?
We'd probably know he was the king, but we don't know for certain that he was the wizard.
Hunter, we're pretty sure. Like, we're all pretty sure. If he isn't, I would be genuinely surprised. He is probably the wizard, Hunter. Like, why do you argue? I know that, technically we don't know. I understand, but at the same time, we're aware. You know what I mean? It's like saying, that we didn't know if Salem was, controlling the Grimm or not. We didn't exactly know, but we all knew, right? So don't be ridiculous. Stop it with your bullshit.
I'm just saying, if it turns out that he's not in fact the wizard, I will make sure we do a whole video where you fucking eat your words.
Okay, whatever. A lot of people think that Ozpin was the wizard's apprentice, like some Mickey Mouse bullshit, but that's another story for another day. Anyway, so that Salem was just a normal girl, and then Ozpin was trying, to put society back in order somehow, and so he decided to make a person that could control the Grimm, so they could control the Grimm maybe in destroying themselves or something, I don't know. Basically to help get rid of them somehow, to make them fight against each other, for example. So he gave Salem some magic, okay? But then Salem started to empathize with the Grimm, and she started to realize that the Grimm weren't that bad after all, and so she started to go against Ozpin. This made Ozpin mad, and so Ozpin made her a Grimm person, which made her horrifying, because this is kind of what happens to Elphaba in some versions of The Wizard of Oz. But let's kind of go through Wicked first. So in Wicked, Elphaba was always born green. She didn't turn green. In stuff like Oz the Great and the Powerful, and also Once Upon a Time, they turn green later because of some sort of cause.
Wasn't she green because the wizard gave her mother a date rape pill?
In
that turned
Wicked,
her green? It was
yes.
Wicked, okay.
In Oz and the Great and Powerful, I think she turns green with envy. No, that's Once Upon a Time.
No,
and Once Upon a Time, she turns
Powerful
green with envy or something like that.
The Great and Powerful.
Envy of I don't remember her name, Regina or something, I don't know, the girl from Once Upon a Time, that's the witch, the bad one, and she's Emma Swan's mom or something, I don't remember, I haven't watched Once Upon a Time in a while. Yeah.
From Twilight?
No, Emma Swan. Her name is Emma, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, the Once Upon a Time witch lady, hold on, has a sister, and that's supposed to be Elphaba, or an aunt or something. Listen, okay, I haven't watched it in a long time, I'm a bit confused. Yeah, Emma Swan is a character. Yeah, see, look at her. She looks like this.
Okay, but I'm pretty sure... Is it Bella Swan I'm thinking?
Bella, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Good job, Hunter.
Listen, right, as much as I am a twihard, or whatever they called themselves...
Zelina is the Wicked Witch of the West. That is her name in, Once Upon a Time. And the Evil Queen is, the Evil Queen is Regina. That's what I thought. Okay. So anyways, now that we've established that, I think that that's a likely one that Ozpin was like, here, like, I will give you the power to control the Grimm, and so we can make the world a better place together, because that is kind of what he does in The Wizard of Oz. I mean, in Wicked, not the actual Wizard of Oz. So basically, in Wicked, if you guys don't know, Elphaba has this book called the Grimmery, and it has a bunch of spells in it, and it basically gives her magic, because there is no magic in the land of Oz. The only people that have magic are people from Earth, right? And so the wizard is from Earth, and Elphaba is from Earth, and that gives them magic.
Elphaba's from Earth?
Yeah, because she's half Earth now, because the wizard fucked her mom. So she's half an Earth person. That is where she gets half of her magic. And so basically what happens is that the wizard is like, hey, Elphaba, we can work together. Can you do some stuff for me? Like, turn this poor faunus into a monkey faunus, but also with wings. And they're like, okay. I'm just using faunus because in there they call them animals. It's not really any different.
A,
yeah, with a capital A. And so Elphaba makes this horrific creature called Chestery, which are the flying monkeys, and she's like, you're an asshole, and the wizard's like, I know, but it's okay. And then she runs away. That's basically what happens. Mm-hmm. And so I think that is sort of a similar situation. I think he gave her the power because he wanted, or she was born with it, and they're actually related, like in Wicked. And so the idea is that she's actually, either she was born with it because she's their daughter, like Ozpin and someone else, or Ozpin tried to give it to her to control the world order, and then she empathized with the Grimm like Elphaba empathizes with the animals, like the horrifying animals she made. So then Salem like starts to make some horrifying Grimm, and she kind of loves them, you know what I mean? Because she made that, you know, and she gets out of control. And so that's when the gods are like, what the fuck, like, did you do? Like, we trusted you to have magic to, like, you know, control things, and you destroyed everything, you know? And so that's kind of where I see things going. Hunter, what do you think of that one? Because I think that's kind of most likely.
There's a lot in it that I don't like, and there's a lot of it that I quite do like.
Like what?
No, stuff like, maybe... Do you know how the Lord of the Rings start?
No.
Where it's like the guy was about to throw the ring in the fires of Mount Doom and end the story like 200 years before the actual Lord of the Rings. But he was like, no, I want the power. And so he kept them for himself. I imagine something like that
For
happening.
Salem or
Yes,
Ozpin?
for Salem.
Oh, so that
And
Salem...
Ozpin was like, do it, you fool. And I was like, no, I will not kill the Grimm.
Well, I think that's what I just said.
Yeah,
so,
basically.
Yeah. But what do you not like about it is my question.
Well,
I have some other
Ozpin
ideas.
being the wizard. And
Hunter, he is the wizard, okay? I didn't do that, okay? Rooster Teeth probably did that. Even if he's not the wizard, though, he was giving magic to randos.
Also,
like, you know what I mean? Like, he's been cursed for 1,000 years, so obviously he's been having some issues.
I just like fucking with you. I really don't care. I mean, he probably is. You're right.
Okay, so
but
other things.
The idea also is that we're forgetting about, like, the relics and the maidens.
Yes, and so I was gonna get to that.
Yes, so then please get to it.
I think that the other option is that Salem and Ozpin were in this together. They were in it to protect the relics, sort of thing. And so Ozpin made the maidens, but that made Salem angry because she wanted to make shit too. You know what I mean? And so, like, she was the wizard's apprentice, so to speak, right? Again, like Elphaba. And so, you know, Ozpin was like, okay, if you help me make this one thing, then I'll give you some powers to make shit. And Elphaba was like, okay, I'm gonna just keep calling her Elphaba, because that's fine. And so then Salem basically made something, and she realized how horrible it was, and so she started to hate Ozpin. Ozpin had already given her the powers by the time she realized she hated him, and then that kind of spiraled out of control. And that is sort of how she made the Grimm. In terms of the relics, she knew that Ozpin had the relics, and now she sees Ozpin as somebody who was unfit to lead, and so she wants all the relics and all the maiden. She wants everything that Ozpin made because she sees Ozpin as somebody who is incompetent and stupid, basically, and, like, heartless and cruel, because Ozpin asked her to make something terrible, like a flying monkey, like Elphaba had to make. We don't know what that terrible thing was, but that is why she wants everything. She doesn't want to necessarily destroy the Earth like Salem, like Raven and all of them keep saying, but she wants to keep everything out of Ozpin's power so she can make a world that she thinks is better because she sees Ozpin as an idiot, which he very well might be. So Hunter, does that help you?
Yeah, I'd buy that. I think that the truth sort of hides within maybe those two theories and then the unknown information of Salem's origins and even to an extent Ozpin's origins.
The final idea that I have is that the Dark God actually made Salem to be his ambassador on Earth to continue making the Grimm. But the Light God was like, you said you were gonna make one last thing and we were gonna make this one last thing together and you betrayed me. So then the Light God made Ozpin and said, hey Ozpin, listen, okay? My brother made this thing and it's horrible and you're gonna stop it. And you're not gonna stop ever. You're gonna keep reincarnating until you stop it. Because apparently gods can't do their own shit on Earth. Like, I don't understand why the gods, like, I guess, like, they talk about that, like, every time they destroyed the other's creation, they just remade it over and over. So I guess he said, okay, well, instead of, like, somebody destroying, or I guess instead of me as a light god destroying my brother's creation because he'll just make it again, if a human does it, maybe he'll have more respect for that, because they made humanity together. Does that make sense? And so maybe the gods didn't curse him, maybe it was just the light god and the dark god was like, well fine, if your human can stop my human, then fuck. Like, you know what I mean?
My dad's stronger than your dad.
Yeah, basically. And so that's kind of the other idea that I have that branches into why both gods cursed Ozpin, is because basically they were having some sort of dick measuring contest, right? Like, my better human can stop my human with magic can stop your human with magic, and so they both made humans with magic to basically fight. And they're very entertained wherever they are. That is what I meant. And they're just watching all this happen and they're like, yes, this is great. Because whatever humanity does to itself is fine. Because they made humanity to kill each other, basically. Kind of. Sort of. Because they made them together, right? So they could choose good or evil. So if they choose good and evil and end up killing each other with good and evil, then it doesn't matter to them. Like, they had fun. They're off making other planets now. They're better at it.
Like
what do you think of that one? Because that has nothing really to do with Wicked. That's just sort of an idea.
It's entirely possible. I think I like the sort of a mixture of the first two. I like the idea that Salem and Ozpin were once cohorts.
Yeah.
That they maybe even they sort of to an extent were like rebelling against the gods because they were sick of their like dick measuring contest.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, so like we're gonna put a stop to this, and I'm gonna control like the relics, or maybe he is the wizard, and like I'm gonna use this magic, so I have these 4 people and these relics, and it's going to be great.
And we'll try to uphold the natural world order, but then Salem was like, you're
and then
not
Salem, you're going to take control of the Grimm.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we can do this, we can put an end to this, but then Salem was like, nah, B, I really like Grimm.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I think, too.
That sort of version of events, I really
Because I think it could be that, like, okay, we'll stop this together, I'll take the relics, and the maidens,
team,
and the silver-eyed warriors, you take the Grimm. And Salem's like, why do I just get the Grimm? And Ozpin's like, listen, it'll be fine.
No,
but then she's like, wait, but I kind of like the Grimm, though. Do we have to kill them? You know what I mean? And Ozpin's like, yeah, kinda, this is how this works. And she's like, well, I don't think I want to anymore. You're kind of being an asshole about it. You know what I mean?
I don't even know if I like the idea. I just like the idea of people being like, no, I'm not against the idea.
I think
of
everything is just
Ozpin.
God dick measuring The thing is, Hunter, even in Wizard of Oz, he was an asshole. Like, that's inevitable at this point. Like, it's not just like Wicked, where he's an evil dictator, or the musical Wicked, where he's just kind of a misunderstood guy, but kind of like an ass. Like, even in the original Wizard of Oz, he is not a good person. You know what I mean? So it doesn't, like, you're lost to this world with that interpretation of the
But
wizard.
it's also like they're not 100% absolute. We recreated.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm saying that they're trying to make Ozpin out as the bad guy now. Like, we kind of already see that. Like, you're lost already.
I feel like Cal, you may be shooting the moon on this one. You might be ahead of yourself.
I don't think so. Like, just based on how they're doing it, like, I think they're going in that direction. And if they don't, that's fine. They don't need to stick to the original Wizard of Oz interpretation whatsoever.
I'm not against the idea of asshole Ozpin, but the idea that it was sort of like, we could end this dick measuring contest now, Salem, and then Salem was like, no. I have seen real power. And maybe Ozpin
or maybe that's even reverse. Maybe Ozpin was like, but wait, I can make all this cool shit. And then Salem was like, what do you mean?
Maybe Ozpin also did, to an extent, something like that. He said that he's made mistakes. Maybe he's a little more like...
Because I see Ozpin as more the power-hungry one. I'm sorry, but I'm interrupting you.
Power-hungry motherfucker,
No, like, not necessarily power-hungry, but Ozpin as the one that's like, okay, we can stop this together. But then I'm gonna make some maidens so I can fuck with your shit more. And then also some silver-eyed warriors that can basically put an end to your stuff. And then Salem's like, silver-eyed warriors, who?
You don't understand what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that maybe there was like, because they describe a dick measuring contest. And
yeah,
maybe the humans were like, well, yeah, but they were described so they didn't want to be stuck in that, so they kind of created...
Why did you put the controller down?
Because I have to explain to you.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that I think that what you're saying still makes sense if it's Ozpin. Like,
yeah, sure, but then also Ozpin doesn't appear to be the antagonist unless they do something in that case, sure. But basically, I already explained my idea. My idea is that Lord of the Rings...
Ozpin isn't the antagonist, but that doesn't mean that he's not a villain.
Okay, yeah, he can do fucked up things, like he already admits it doing, and I didn't get to say this, but Raven clearly has a bone to pick with him.
And so that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking more along the lines of, like, it was kind of what you said, like, okay, let's do this together, but I'm gonna make the silver-eyed warriors so they can stop your shit. And then Salem's like, what? Like, we're supposed to be trying to, like, equal this out so everything's okay. And then he's just like, well, I don't know. Like, I just want a little bit more than you.
Maybe a young man, Ozpin, fucked up and he recognized that. That's cool as well.
Anyway, these are basically, like, just kind of speculation. I kind of like a mixture of all of these speculation. Ideas.
This is cold, hard facts. We know everything all the time forever.
I like the idea of everything mixed together. And so, like, when we did the Yang idea brainstorm with how she would meet Weiss, like, none of our ideas were entirely right, but all of our ideas mixed together kind of made something similar. Not really. Yeah, because I said, oh, well, maybe, like, Weiss will overhear Yang doing something, or maybe, like, X will happen. Like, all of our ideas kind of combined into a new one.
Something completely different with what she overheard.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not saying it was, I'm saying that some of our ideas made it in the end. That is the point I'm trying to make here, you know? Like, I'm not saying all of our ideas were right, I'm saying that some of them made it. You know what I mean? Because some of them did make it in. Like, some people watch, even our freezer burn video had some ideas that apparently we mentioned and we forgot about. Like, when we made the Weiss and Yang reuniting, like, back when we made the freezer burn video in Volume 4, like, apparently we also called how they would reunite or something.
Well, I'd have to rewatch our own
And, like,
videos.
I just didn't remember.
And rewatching our own videos is something I have never done. So
anyway, so that's basically it. It's speculation, guys. I want to hear what you guys think. I know some of you are like, Cal, not everything has to be Wicked, but it's not. It's just like, it's sort of based on what happened in Wicked. Also, they can do something kind of similar, but not really.
I think that the idea of Ozpin being the secret villain all along is kind of like, yeah, that's so obvious. Is
it though? But you said that he's not that bad, so how obvious is it? If you're debating with yourself over it. But you make him
sound like he's like it's been me, evil, all the time.
That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that, not that he was evil, but he's the one that was at first kind of like, oh, but I want to do this, and I want to do that. And then Salem was like, well, you're a dick. And then obviously he's grown past that. But at the same time, he seems pretty indifferent to human life at this point sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just based on how, I don't want to say based on how he acts, but he's been sending teams to their death for God knows how long. He's been picking teams he sees as special, like Team RWBY, and then basically ripping them apart. So I don't know how good he is.
No, they rip themselves apart pretty good, but I digress.
I mean, like, you understand what I mean. Like, it's not, he's just flawed. He's not necessarily like, like, he's not like that. He's not that sort of villain.
It just seems like you were really going for the mahaha.
No, it's just, like, something spiraled out of control, and now he's trying desperately to fix it, but at the same time, it's been 1,000 years. The man is getting tired. Like, I feel like that is interesting enough that he's still, like, a quote-unquote bad dude, but he's not intentionally trying to do that. It just all got past him too much, and he was young and stupid with too much power from the gods.
Although the idea of him fucking up a second time and then RWBY having to put him down, I like that idea.
It's nice. And so anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. That's basically all I have to say, and so I hope that I'll see you guys later. I hope that you enjoyed. Bye-bye!